I want you to feel into how the great puzzle that is your reality, that is your life, that is your contribution to creation, is missing some pieces. Imagine, if you will, that all that you are, all that you can be, all that is the potential of the God within you is this vast jigsaw puzzle. And there's some missing pieces. There's lots of pieces that you've chosen not yet to put in their place, even if you know where they go. But there's actually some missing pieces. There's some missing pieces to that grand puzzle. And all of those missing pieces are the pieces of you that you've denied. We don't need to get into why you denied them, or where you denied them, or how you denied them. All you have to do is acknowledge that there are missing pieces of the puzzle, because there are bits of your truth that you're choosing not to acknowledge, not to place attention on, because you feel that to do so is going to cause you to become unsafe. So you as a human being, you actually feel safe with those pieces of the puzzle missing. Sure, missing pieces of the puzzle give you all sorts of excuses for failure and such things. But when it all comes down to it, you feel safer with missing pieces of the puzzle. So the choice for you in this moment, and we're working on stimulating higher light bodies and activating certain ascension potentials while we're doing this. But we can't anchor that and make that real here unless we actually go through this process of remembrance. So the reality for you is whether or not you are prepared to accept that you're actually safer if you remember. Myself, I came to this realization a long time ago that I'm probably better off to know than not know. The truth exists within the mind of God, within the mind of the Creator. Because within the mind of the Creator is the knowing, the understanding of everything that's happened and why it's happened, and how it's happened, where it's happened, when it's happened. That's already known. All you, all we, all I can do is choose to not know that too. And we do that by denying. So what we have to do is come to this knowing that we don't know everything, that the truth already exists, and we are just able to partake of that. All you have to do to partake in that knowing, that understanding that is the truth, is to simply release your denial. Now, to me, within the context of developing your self-mastery, which is what mastery is all about. It's not about mastery of anything else. It's about mastery of yourself, self-mastery. And your ascension process and the realization of God, which is about becoming the living embodiment of spirit. Slightly different to the enlightenment process, which is just simply about embodying ever greater levels of light. This whole process of being all that you can be radiating, embodying as much knowing, as much light and awareness as you possibly can, is about going into agreement with God. So you can either realise God or be right all the time. Because if you think you're right all the time, it's impossible for you to grow. It's impossible for you to move forward. So if you're completely comfortable where you're at, if you think you know everything, if you can walk through walls, dematerialise, teleport, you manifest absolutely every level of abundance in every reality in your life, in all your relationships, in all your spheres of influence, then you're probably well on the way to being God realised. Not there, but well on the way. If that's not the case, then there's probably a few things contained within the mind of God that you've forgotten. So the ego that you instructed to keep the truth from you has to accept that it's done its job perfectly. Now you have to re-choose as the indwelling entity, as the indwelling spirit. You have to go, well, okay, yes, I instructed my ego to keep the truth from me, and it's done a fantastic job. Not, you slimy ego, keeping the truth from me. That's not going to work. But if you go, oh, hit my ego, yes, what a fantastic job you did of helping me to survive and helping me to feel safe by forgetting. You've done this awesome job. And your ego goes, oh yeah, cool. This is good. I do what the indwelling spirit tells me to do. And then I get all praised and I feel real good and validated and stuff. Cool. What else can I do for you now? And you go, okay, I don't need you to keep the truth from me anymore. You've got a new job. You've got a promotion. And your promotion is to actually assist me to realise where I've forgotten, where I'm denying, where I'm in denial. And we're going to have fun with this. You and me, partners, spirit and ego. We're partners. And we're going to have all this fun. And we're going to play this game. And every time you show me where there's a denial, where I'm forgetting, I'm going to congratulate you. And I'm going to make you feel really good because you've done this fantastic job. It goes, okay, good, cool, yeah, cool, okay. Well, there's one here, and there's one here, and there's one here, and you can do this one. You say, hey, hang on, one at a time. That's going to work. That's going to work, really. Really, that's going to work. Are you willing to choose that? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? Because you can know any time you want. And that's all you've got to do. You've got to make that choice. You've got to make that choice. That's God calling. And God's saying, hey, now it's time to use the ego differently. God's saying, hey, it's not time now to use the ego to hide from me. It's time to use the ego to know me. And it's really that simple. You've got to love your ego. And we've all heard that, love your ego, you know. What does that mean? Well, it means just what I've shared with you. It means adopting a completely different attitude and a completely different working relationship with your ego. And this is what we teach people to do. This is the process that we use to assist you to actualize the human spirit, to bring joy back into your life, to enjoy the growth process, because the growth process can be pretty tough if you haven't got that kind of attitude. So it's really as simple as that. I choose to know. I choose to accept. I choose to accept that I caused myself to forget. I chose to deny. And that was most wondrous and amazing. Amazing. and perfect. Now I choose differently. Now I choose differently. And I'm kind of a bit over all the control dramas. What I really want is the empowerment of the human spirit that is me, and I want it with all my heart and soul and mind and feeling body. I choose this, I desire this. My whole life is about remembering that I am the God within. Because to return to that knowing is a victory beyond measure. Not only for you, but for the planet, its universes, and its universes. To truly know and accept that. To feel that. To be that knowing. Feel the knowing within you ferociously. And all you have to do is choose that. It exists. Choose that, which is your divine birthright. That divine birthright is to know the God within you. And no one can cause you to deny. You choose to deny. And because you choose to deny, you can choose to undeny. To know. I know. I choose to know. I choose the truth. I choose to love the truth. I choose to prize the truth and cherish the truth above all else. I choose to prize that above all else. And whatever the truth is, I accept that I'm better off to know the truth. Because without the truth, all I can have is less than truth. I'll tell you something else. No one can control you. No one can control you unless you're in denial. If you've got missing pieces in your puzzle that is you, because you've denied those aspects of yourself and your reality, your truth, then others can come along and put pieces in your puzzle. You don't want those bits. You're denying that. So you can only be controlled if you choose to deny. Now, let's have a show of hands. Who likes to be controlled? Who would rather be in control than be controlled? Okay, so if you truly want to be in control, you must simply release denial. You must choose to know. Because everywhere you don't know in yourself, that's where people can push your buttons. Everywhere you don't know, that's what your buttons are. So everywhere you don't know, you can be controlled. If you choose to know and to acknowledge the truth and to acknowledge the feeling of that and to not judge it, to acknowledge it, to accept it, then you cannot be controlled. Hey, that's got to be a good thing. Hasn't that got to be a good thing?
Yeah.
So that's a revelation for you. That's a revelation for you. So, you know what controls you? Your own ego and the egos of others. It's all that can control you. Your own ego and the egos of others. So if there's other beings out there who also have in their jigsaw puzzle big missing bits, and you come together, then all sorts of weirdness manifests. And you enter into control dramas, which are you going into agreement with someone else to also hide from the truth. No more complicated than that. So you know what? Why upstairs says that everyone who comes back to the knowing and ends their denial is a victory beyond measure, it's because you can't have governments doing what they're doing in these moments when we all choose to know. They become a true representation of the will of the indwelling spirit of humanity. So this is the real power of one, to live your truth. And guess what? When you end your denial and you embrace the knowing, the other people, the people around you who choose to remain in their denial, which is perfect for them if that's what they choose, they tend to magnetically be repelled, and you tend to attract other people in your life who are also ending their denial, who are also in the knowing, and they share their knowing with you, which helps you to end more denial, and you share your knowing with them, which helps them to end more of their denial. So the process of remembrance becomes exponential. This is why we have our global life coaching program. So remember also that you're pretty much the sum total of the 5 major influences in your life. I was a smoker for a long time, you know, and for me to give up smoking, I had to stop hanging around with smokers, because the denial associated with that smoking was perpetuated through my association with that. So it's really important to get the 5 major influences in your life really clear, really pure, and really aligned with that which you seek to become, that which is seen to be the embodiment of success. And if within the context of the ascension process, it's someone who's pretty good at most things, someone who you would find who's in their personal power, exhibits good leadership qualities and the ability to be a team player, the ability to surrender and work with the will of God within, someone who's able to emanate, to express love and wisdom, someone who's adaptable, someone who's intelligent, someone who has a love of harmony and beauty, someone that you would consider to be illuminated and very devoted, and also someone who's able to transform. You need to get the 5 major influences in your life, the 5 influences which are most potent in your life, to be seriously aligned with where you're going. And then the synergy of that propels you effortlessly into the wonder that is the potential of all that you are.